Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. It's Tuesday morning, and we're going to do a little bit of analysis today. The market right now is in a period of expansion across almost all of the pairs. You can see that we're bullish here and here again, and so most of the trades that set up right at this point would be counter trend trades. And the question becomes, well, how do you do that? How do you take a counter trend trade? Because most of the stuff that we do, 2618, trend continuation trade, with the exception of Fibonacci inversion, which I also do here in WarRoom, Fibonacci inversion technically a counter trend trade. But I want to talk a little bit today about building a case for entry with you guys and show you guys a little something. But I want to read something to you all first. If you will just indulge me for a couple of minutes. I got a letter from actually Jason Greystone, who runs our London live room, sent this to me first because it was sent by someone who had been in his live room. And I now found out that this is going to be posted in the London Metro, which I think it's a free newspaper that anybody who rides the tube, I think that's what they call it in those of you in London, that you guys can read, and I want to read it to you. It's a compelling story. Just let me read it. It says, "My name is Shaw, and 2 years ago I invested in a course with a company in London. I'm not going to name the company's name because I don't think that's right. But on Forex trading." He said, "Unfortunately, after paying the full fee, my little boy Matthew fell terribly ill, and I couldn't attend any classes. My little boy was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and I didn't have the means to take my son private to get a second opinion. When I requested a refund purely because I wanted to do what I can for him, like any father would, they gave me excuse after excuse, and till today I have not received a penny back. My son passed away, and it felt like I failed him. My life turned into turmoil, and I hit rock bottom. I distanced myself away from my family, and all I could think about was suicide. My conception of trading turned into absolute hatred." He said, "Eventually, a year later, I said to myself, enough is enough, and I promised to learn to trade and be successful at it. I have something to prove to myself and hope to God that my son will be proud of me. This time I wasn't going to be foolish and jump in. I searched the internet when I came across Jason Stapleton. I couldn't believe that this man was giving so much away for free. I followed him for a full year and learned so much until I had the courage to join a program that he calls the Syndicate. This man was a saint. Then I saw the London Live Forex room that his company did, and I registered. Well, that was when my thoughts on trading did a 160-degree turn, and the host, Jason Greystone, was so sincere, answered all of my questions. He taught me about Fibonacci levels, pattern trading, Fibonacci inversion structure, and most importantly, how to develop a trading plan and how to backtest that plan. Everything I've been trying to put together from Jason just filled together like a puzzle. His support and encouragement really touched me. Jason Greystone has taken my education, which I have been searching to the next level, and it hardly cost me anything. To the people who look to pursue a successful trading career and wish to invest in an education, my advice is please do research into the company, read testimonials before making any commitments. I have found a genuine company that actually cares about their students instead of how much they can take of them and give nothing in return. To me, everyone at Trade Empowered are my mentors. I thank them for changing my life in so many ways. They are my inspiration, and I look forward to the 12-week transformation course which they offer. Finally, I would like to personally give a thanks to Jason Greystone, who gave me a reason to fight every day." Now, I don't read that for the logical reason of, self-promotion. What I want you to understand is there's a lot of people who ask us why we teach instead of run a hedge fund or run money, for lack of a better term, proprietary trading firm, something like that. When Todd is my business partner, and when Todd and I started this company, we had a goal and it made a decision and had a heart for helping people be successful. We saw the difficulty in people learning how to do this. We saw what I consider to be a lack of really good quality education that would teach people skill instead of just offering them quick fixes. And Todd has a passion, and I have a passion for this, that for teaching and for helping other people. That is, I guess, is just above average. And we've tried hard over the last several years as we've added people and as we've grown, because it started just Todd and I in a little 2-bedroom apartment. And then we brought Darren on, and after Darren, Tina, and then, OG, and then, now Charles. And we've added trainers like Akil and Jason Greystone, and Mark Sedlock's going to be coming on to do futures work with us. And I have done everything I can to seek out people who not only understand how to trade, who understand the skill of it, but who also care deeply about seeing you be successful. And I'm going to talk a little bit about counter trend trading here in a minute, but I want you to understand that letter, that's why we all show up every day. That's why I do this. That's powerful. And for anybody who's thinking, I would like to have, I want my life to be about something. I want to, at the end of the day, be able to look at my life and lay my head down on my pillow at night and come home and see my kids and look at them in the eyes and know that I stand for something. That I can sleep sound at night, knowing that I'm doing everything I can in the rightest way I know how to do it. And to get a response like that from somebody, to see it having effect on somebody's life, you cannot possibly understand the joy that brings all of us here. And so, to Sean, thank you for sending that email to us. Thank you for letting us know what kind of impact we're having. And I'm so very sorry to hear about your son. And I have a small boy, and I can only imagine. I knock on wood. That's all I can say. That would be devastating. And I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm so happy that you've found a home in some place where you can learn and grow. And thank you. So there it is. I couldn't not read that to you guys. It's too powerful. I get choked up when I read it. So apologize for that. Let's take a look at a potential counter trend trade. So here's an example of one. Okay, and I'm going to clear off all this stuff here, and we're going to build a case for entry. Now, this is a lot of the stuff that we do in the training course, the 12-week transformation course. Pattern recognition course, APT courses, we do some of this, not as much. It's really more about just patterns. But this is really about building a case for entry. And so the first thing that we have to do is identify, is the market bullish or bearish, and how do we determine that? Because some guys will be like, well, the market's bullish because we violated the most recent structure level. Right there, we violated. Whoop! What just happened? My goodness. Oh, I said remove all drawing tools. There we go. So people will say, well, we violated this most recent structure level, and so now we're bullish. And I would agree with you. That's the way I would teach it to you. But other people will look at it and they'll scroll back, or they'll jump to a higher time frame and they'll say, oh no, Jason, this market's bearish. Just look at the higher time frame chart. And so we have to define for ourselves, what do we consider bullish? What do we consider bearish? How do we define it? Because frankly, guys, you can define it any way you want to, well, within reason. You can say, well, I always look at the higher time frame in order to determine trend. So it doesn't matter what's happening on my trading time frame. I'm going to consider a trending trade to be any trade in the direction of the underlying trend. We take a shorter time horizon and we look at our trading time frame and the most recent structure levels. So if we're studying and students of structure, we understand that there's a shelf here, and there's one here, and then we've got a support level here and another support level here. And we've got resistance here and resistance here, and support and support. And if I start to draw this in, you can kind of see what's been going on most recently. Downward move, followed by an outside return, lower high, boom. We have a rally, we pull back, up again, and back again, and up, and break of structure, followed by another break of structure. So here, initially we were bearish. Let me fatten it up so hopefully you guys can see it a little better. Here we break structure to the downside, violating the most recent structure, and then immediately we go back the other way into bullish momentum. And now we're saying, well, okay, where's our next trade? What are we supposed to be looking for? Well, a trend continuation trade would require that we pull back into previous structure, that we have a risk reward that makes sense and is greater than, is at least 1-to-1, and then we would look for a rally off, or we have to wait for a double top. Wait for this to kind of double top in here, and then break a structure, giving us again a violation of the structure level, retracement back up into the 618, giving us a 2618 trade, right? Sorry, excuse me. Those are the types of things that we would be looking for. But if we're looking at this from a counter trend trade, we're saying, okay, the market has just broken out. Where is this market likely to terminate? Well, based on those movements that we saw earlier, one of the things we can look at is swing low to swing high and the retracement here, and then the expansion, or the extension. And we can say, all right, let's use our Fibonacci levels to try and figure out if there is a termination point here that we could identify. So we grab our Fibonacci extension tool. We take the cycle bottom, the cycle top here, and then back down in. And we see that the market is currently trading somewhere around a 1414. We grab another Fibonacci tool and we see if we can find some confluence here of our Fibonacci extension levels. And we're going to invert this leg of the move. Okay? See what else we can find here. Well, now we've got a 1414 and a 1618 coming in there kind of close together, kind of right where the market is trading now. Let's grab a Fibonacci retracement tool and take a look at the most recent downward leg of the move. Grab a Fibonacci retracement, swing high to swing low. Oh, hang on. Let me clean that up a little bit. Didn't do that very well. There we go. And now I see that there is a 786 coming in just above this kind of Fibonacci cluster here, 1414, 1618 confluence. So if I'm going to look at an area somewhere between the 786 retracement and the 1618, 1414 is a potential kill zone for us, right? It's an area where the market may come in and just die. And then we may see the retracement that we're looking for. Now the question is, what do we do with this and how do we trade it? Do we just simply sell once the market gets up in here? Well, you can do that, but you risk the market running against you. And if I bring in my RSI, I don't know what happened to that. It must have gotten rid of it. Okay. Oops, there it was. I bring in my RSI. What can you see about the RSI? Well, as we move into this potential kill zone here, we are right in that range. So we're right in that. We're going into an oversold condition as we press up in there. So we can do a couple of things. We can start building a case for entry and saying, okay, I have the market is inside a 1618, 1414 Fibonacci cluster with 786 ratio confluence. And I'm inside of kind of my reversal zone. The market is overbought. I'm going to go ahead and sell. Or you could wait for some added confirmation. You could say, no, I want the market to come into the zone, come out of the zone, and then re-enter the zone. And then once we come back into the zone, then I'm going to sell. Or once we come back in and we double top, then I'm going to sell. You can begin to set this up and write out your rules of engagement in a way that is either very aggressive or more conservative. Keeping in mind that the more aggressive you are, the more times you're likely to be wrong. And the more conservative you are, the fewer trading opportunities you're going to have. So it's a trade-off, and sometimes you might want to test both in doing your back testing. These are all things that you want to be cognizant of as you're running through your analysis and you're making your decision about what types of trades you're going to be involved with. Now, you don't make this decision today, right now, when the market's sitting right here. The decision about whether or not you trade this is made long before when you're writing your trading plan. Does that make sense to everybody? That this is not something that you just come up with on a whim and say, oh, I think this time I'll be aggressive because I've had 6 or 7 winning trades in a row and I'm feeling pretty good, so let's just short this baby. Or I've had 5 or 6 or 8 losing trades in a row and I am really feeling crummy. I think I'm going to wait for that added confirmation. And even then, I don't know, I'll have to wait and see how I feel about it. We don't trade based on how we feel. We trade off what we know. And what we know is the trading plan that we have put together and the testing and validation that we have done on that trading system or that trading strategy. Does that make sense? I'll tell you a story another day about how I used to train people in Iraq to make decisions when they were outside the green zone, out in dangerous territory. And it's largely the same thing. We make decisions about what we're going to do and how we're going to react long before the shooting starts. Long before the trade ever gets into a zone where we might potentially look to short or buy, what are we doing? We already know what we're going to do. We've already prepared ourselves mentally, emotionally, tactically, technically. We're ready. And this is just one example of how you build a case for entry and find potential reversal zones in the market. Potential areas where the market may turn. Make sense? Good. Now, one last thing, guys. Yesterday I put out a video. And I said it's tax day, taxes suck, and nobody likes paying them, and the average person here in America pays something like 25% in taxes. I think that was the average over everybody. And so what I said was, for the next week, that's the balance of this week, you can get 25% off anything that we have. Now, the cool thing about that is, if you're interested in like a transformation course, it's $1,000 off. I mean, there's only maybe one other time of the year that we ever do anything like this. It's at the end of the year. And Darren came to me and he said, I got this really cool idea. It's tax time. People are filing and there's all kinds of stuff over the internet. How about we offer a big discount to everybody who had to pay taxes? And I thought that's a great idea. Let's do it. And so I did a quick video, and that went out yesterday. All you have to do, guys, is go and use at checkout. Whenever you check out, just use the code TAXESSUCK, the promotional code. When it says, do you have a promotional code? Just put TAXESSUCK in there, and it'll give you 25% discount off everything, no matter what you get. But it's only for this week because it's a huge discount. And so go and do that. If you've been sitting on the fence and wondering whether or not, hey, is it time? Hey, you guys have heard what people say. We have a mountain of testimonials. If you're really wanting to do this, I honestly believe that this is the best place for you. I would not be doing this. I would not be investing my time if I didn't feel like we could do a better job of helping you become successful than anybody else. And so go and do it. Make the decision. And then let's get started with your future. It's a very exciting time, and we've got a lot of time in this year. There's plenty of time, and I'm just really excited about what the balance of this year holds. So go and do it now. Taxes Suck is the promo code, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.